Hello everybody. This is the video on pediatric and adult dosages based on body weight. It is chapter 13 in our dosage calculations textbook and section 17.1 in our HOGS. Let's look at the first slide. We've got several slides. Each question is broken down into 4, 5, or 6 parts depending on what the questions are asking. And we just take them step by step. So in this first part, we've got to be careful and look at what the question is asking for. And this one, if we'll read the question, is asking to calculate, I can't write or draw, calculate the child's weight in kilograms. Notice our child's weight is in pounds. So before we do anything else, before we look at the recommended dosage, we have to get the child's weight into kilograms, because the dosage is based on his weight in kilograms, or their weight in kilograms. So if you'll recall that 1 kilogram is equivalent to 0.2 pounds, then to convert our 65 pounds, we're going to divide it by 2.2 pounds to get our kilograms. So I do 65 divided by 2.2. I'm going to get 29.5 kilograms. 29, not 25. Okay, how come that doesn't want to erase? There we go. Try this again. 29.5 kilograms. Okay, so that's all this question is wanting, our weight. So write that over to the side somewhere and remember it for the next slide, or the next slide, and let's move on. And then in this next slide, the question is asking for what is the recommended minimum daily dosage. So daily dosage is milligrams per day. So we've got to remember our child's weight in kilograms is 29.5 kilograms. And then we're going to look at our recommended. The recommended dosage of the medication for children weighing less than 40 kilograms is 13.5 to 32 milligrams per kilogram per day by mouth in equally divided doses of every 6 hours. All right, so notice the doctor does every 6 hours. We have to make sure that these check. We're in the right amount of doses. So then we're going to set it up. We've got a minimum amount, that's our first, and then we've got a maximum amount. So the first one I'm going to do is minimum. I'm going to change colors so I can kind of keep these color coded. Let's do orange. So I'm going to take my minimum amount of medication, 13.5 milligrams per kilogram per day, and I'm always going to multiply it times the child's weight in kilograms. So 29.5 kilograms. So one way to remember this, it's your recommended weight or recommended dose times the body weight in kilograms. And so it's always, whether it's, if there's just one recommended dose or if there's recommended range. So we're starting with our minimum. 13.5 times 29.5 gives me 398.25 milligrams, or kilograms cancel, milligrams per day. And notice they wanted it to the nearest hundredth, so I went ahead and wrote it out to the nearest hundredth. Right, so this is our maximum, our minimum per day. So keep that in mind. And then the next slide, or the next part, is asking for the minimum single dosage for this child. Okay, if we know that it's 398.25 milligrams per day, then all we have to do is divide this by our doses per day. That way our days cancel and we end up with milligrams per dose. But how many doses do we have in one day? Well, remember, it's ordered every 6 hours. So if you take 24 hours, you divide it by your every 6 hours, you get 4 doses, because 6 times 4 is 24. So 4 doses per day. So then I want to divide the 398.25 divided by 4. And that gives me 99.56 milligrams per dose. Okay, so this is our minimum amount that we can give the child. If we give any less than this per dose, then we're not treating the child. We're under-medicating. Next question, next part of this question is what is the maximum? So I'm going to change colors again. So let's go with blue here. So this one's asking for the maximum daily dosage. So we're going to look at it the same way. We got to remember that the child's weight is 29.5 kilograms. 13.5 was our minimum. Our maximum is the 32. So we'll start out the same way as I did the other, 32 milligrams per kilogram per day times our child's weight, which is 29.5 kilograms. Now remember, the kilograms always cancel, leaving us in milligrams per day. So we'll multiply 32 times the 29.5, and I'm going to get 944 milligrams per day. Now again, this one said round to the nearest hundredth, but when I multiplied that out, I got a whole number, so that's okay. So this is my milligrams per day, my maximum amount of milligrams per day. And then the next step. What is the recommended maximum single dose for this child? So it's in milligrams per dose. Again, I know I have 944 milligrams per day. And then from the previous slide, we know that if we take the 24 hours, divide it by every 6 hours, we know we're getting 4 doses per day. So just like I did with the minimum, I'm going to divide this by my 4 doses per day. So my days cancel, and I'm left with milligrams per dose. So 944 divided by 4 is 236 milligrams per dose. So that's for a single dose. So we need to remember this. And then that's our maximum. The next step is asking, is the order safe for this child? So to determine if the order is safe, play with my colors again. I'm going to take my minimum, has to be less than or equal to my order, which has to be less than or equal to maximum. And if this is true, then the medication is safe. So remember, the minimum was 99.56. Is that less than or equal to my order, which my order is 225, so yes, it's less than. But is the order less than or equal to my maximum? And my maximum was 236. So yes, 225 is less than the maximum. So then it's true. So my order dose is safe because the ordered dose falls between the minimum and maximum dose. I always ask for a reason. Hawks is not going to ask for a reason. So all you have to do is type in the T for tree. But just to make sure you understand, the reason the ordered dose is safe is because the ordered dose falls between the minimum and the maximum dose. Okay, let's go to the next part. This is a new question. We have clarithromycin 55 milligrams IV every 12 hours for a 7-day-old infant who weighs 1,700 grams. So the first step in this question is to find the weight in kilograms. All right, notice this time I'm in grams, I'm not in pounds. So I'm not going to use the 1 kilogram equals the 2.2, the 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. I'm going to use that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So I want to use that conversion this time to go from grams to kilograms because you always want the weight in kilograms. So I'm going to take my 1,700 grams of weight. I'm going to divide it by 1,000 grams for my conversion, and I'm going to get 1.7 kilograms for the child's weight. So you're always converting it, whether you're converting it from grams to kilograms or pounds to grams. You're still converting, or pounds to kilograms, excuse me. You're still converting the weight to kilograms. Once in a while, these problems will go ahead and give you the weight in kilograms. So be careful and check. All right, the second part of this question is what is the recommended daily dosage? Okay, daily means the whole day, the milligrams per day. So I know the child's weight is 1.7 kilograms. So I'll make a note of that up here. And then I'm going to read the recommendation. The clarithromycin for neonates less than 2 kilograms is 50 milligrams per kilogram per day, divided every 12 hours. For neonates more than 2 kilograms and older than 8 days of age is 75 milligrams per kilogram per day, divided every 12 hours. All right, so our neonate, our infant, is less than 2 kilograms. So we're going to use the recommended of 50 milligrams per kilogram per day, divided every 12 hours. And again, the doctors ordered it for every 12 hours. So, like I did on the other example, I'm going to take my recommended, the 50 milligrams per kilogram per day. I'm going to multiply it by the child's weight, or in this case, the infant's weight, 1.7 kilograms. So do 50, oops, turn my calculator back on, 50 times 1.7, and I'm going to get 85 milligrams per day. So that's what this one's wanting, milligrams per day. And notice it's not a range this time. This is a maximum dose. The maximum is 50 milligrams per kilogram per day. You can't go over that. It doesn't have a minimum dose. All right, step 3. This is where we're going to do a lot more work. Is the order safe for this child? So we're looking T if the order is safe, F if the order is not safe. Well, we know that our recommended is 85 milligrams per day. So what is my milligrams per dose? Because I've got to compare it to a single dose here. I know it's every 12 hours. And I know, again, if I take the 24 hours divided by my every 12 hours, I'm going to get 2 doses per day. So I'm taking my milligrams per day, dividing it by 2 doses per day. So again, my days cancel. I'm left with milligrams per dose. 85 divided by 2 is 42.5 milligrams per dose. So now, is this safe? This is my recommended. So this is like my maximum. So with these, remember that your order must be less than or equal to your recommended. So your recommended is going to always be your maximum. So in this case, my order is 55 milligrams. And my recommended, that's what we just found, our recommended was 42.5 milligrams. Is 55 less than 42? No. So this is false. So the ordered dose is not safe. Dose. It's not. My handwriting's really not good. Safe. Because the ordered dose is greater than the recommended dose. So we would type F for this one because it's not safe. So, step 2 just asks us for the maximum or the recommended dose per day. So in step 3, to determine whether it's safe, we needed to find the recommended dose per single dose, the recommended single dose of milligrams per dose, to determine if it was safe or not. And this one's not safe. Okay, so let's go and look at question 3. So this time I have a child who's 63 pounds. The doctor's ordered 110 milligrams daily. Okay, so he's only going to get 1 dose a day. This is where these don't match up, and we just have to pretend they do. I guess he could give that in 2 divided doses. But anyway, all right, so the recommended dosage for Subrax, I don't know how to say that one, for children who weigh less than 45 kilograms is 8 milligrams per kilogram per day, divided in equally divided doses of every 12 hours. So he's ordered 110 milligrams per day. So that's what I want to look at. What's the recommended per day? First thing I have to do is find the child's weight in kilograms. So this is in pounds. So we're going to use the conversion. 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. So take 63 divided by your 2.2. They're both pounds. So 63 divided by 2.2. And I get 28.6 kilograms. So this is my child's weight. He's less than the 45 kilograms, so the recommended would work. All right, so let's move. Remember the 28.6 kilograms. Let's move on to the next slide. Again, I'm going to make this down before I forget it. The 26.6, I wrote that wrong. It's 28.6. So 28.6 kilograms is the child's weight. And so I'm going to calculate, again, it's wanting the milligrams, the daily dosage, milligrams per day. So I'm going to find my milligrams per day. So I'm taking the 8 milligrams per kilogram per day times the child's weight of 28.6 kilograms. over 1. So 8 times 28.6 gives me 228.8 milligrams per day. Okay, so the 228, I should have wrote that better, 228.8 milligrams per day is my recommended dose. Okay, so we want to remember that. And then let's look at this one. What is the recommended single daily dose? Single dosage for this child. Okay, this is where some of these questions, I just go with it. Because this says daily. This says every 12 hours. I'm going to go with this, which gives me 2 doses per day. Remember, you take the 24 hours in a day, divide it by your every 12 hours to get your 2 doses. So my daily dose was 228.8 milligrams per day. And I'm going to divide this by 2 doses per day. So divide that by 2. So that gives me 114.4 milligrams per single dose. So this is my single dose. Is the order safe? Oops, that's the next question. Kind of got ahead of myself. So this last part of this question is the order safe? True or false? So again, your order has to be less than or equal to your recommended. Okay, our order is 110 milligrams. Our recommended, if you'll remember from the other slide, is 114.4 milligrams. And I'm assuming these, per dose. We're going to kind of ignore the daily. We're going to assume that it's every 12 hours because of the way the question reads. And this is true. Either way we look at it, if it's for 1 dose every 12 hours, it's true. If it's for a maximum of a daily dose, it's still going to be true. So the ordered dose is safe. I'm going to just put the ordered dose is safe. Safe because your dose is less than the recommended dose. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. Again, we're looking at infants. Notice that this infant weighs 7 pounds 4 ounces. And again, this first part of this question is asking for the child's weight. This is a multi-step process. So first, we've got to convert the ounces to pounds. And we know that 16 ounces will equal 1 pound. I can never write 1 pound right. Try that again. 1 pound. So I'm going to take, I know I have 7 pounds. I don't have to do anything with the 7 pounds. So I'm going to take my 4 ounces. I'm going to divide it by my 16 ounces. 6 ounces cancel. 4 divided by 16 is 0.25 pounds because I'm converting it to pounds. So now I'm going to add my 7 pounds that I had originally plus the 0.25 pounds that was my 4 ounces. And I get 7.25 pounds total. Now I want to convert my pounds to kilograms. So I know 1 kilogram, again, is 2.2 pounds. I told you it's multi-step. So 7.25 pounds divided by 2.2 pounds. 25 divided by 2.2 is 3.29, which rounds to 3.3 kilograms. So this is our weight for this child. Love allergy season. Have to love allergy season. For the next slide. This wants to know what is the recommended daily dosage. So it's 15 milligrams per kilogram per day in 4 equal doses. This is a not to exceed dose. This is the maximum you can give regardless of weight. But we're just looking for the recommended, not the do not exceed. And notice the do not exceed is not based on weight. So again, I'm taking my recommended, which is 15 milligrams per kilogram per day, times the child's weight, which was 3.3 kilograms. I didn't write that up top like I normally do. So 3.3 kilograms was the weight. So I'll multiply that, 15 times 3.3, and I get 49.5 milligrams per day. Again, kilograms cancel. Okay. Okay, the doctor ordered it, notice it was every 6 hours. That's the same thing as 4 equal doses, right? So this is my maximum per day. Oops. Let's look at the next slide at part 3. What's the recommended single dose? So the recommended single dose, that means that I'm taking my 49.5 milligrams per day, and I'm going to divide it again by the number of doses per day. And it said up here that it was 4 equal doses, so I'm going to divide it by 4. And I get 12.38 milligrams per dose. So my milligrams per dose is the same thing, or is my same thing as my single dose. Allergies are getting to me. Sorry, guys. All right, so this is my single dose. Remember that one. Oh, I don't have a part 4 on this. So to look at part 4, I want to know, is the order safe? And again, T for true, F for false. So again, our order has to be less than or equal to our recommended. My order is 12 milligrams. So it's 12 milligrams less than or equal to our recommended at 12.38 milligrams. It's less than. Of course, if you rounded it, it would be equal. So it's true. The ordered dose is safe. Because the ordered dose, or I'm going to just write order this time, the order is less than or equal to the recommended dose. Okay, I hope these videos has helped. I apologize for the allergies and the way I sound, and I will see you in class.